Hi, it's Tim from Booth.Events. Today we're going to have a look at our new consent features that we launched recently. So on the left hand of your screen you can see the website, and that's where the events are created and managed. And I'm going to open this one called Learning the Consent feature. And on the right hand side of the video you can see the iPad app. So that's the iPad, the app that you can download from the App Store called Booth.Events. And here I've got the same event opened as well. So let's go ahead and edit the event on the website. So we hit that edit button at the top, and then we go to the consent tab. And you can see at the top of the consent tab there's this master switch. So if I turn it off, consent is off. If I turn it on, consent is on. And let's start by looking at the types of consent that we can offer. So we can have a checkbox, which is the default type that we've always had since we've launched this platform. We can have a new optional type where the guest can choose to not give consent but can still continue. We have a password type, which is fantastic for when you want the consent text to lead the guest through a payment procedure, and the payment procedure, if successful, gives them the password. For example, you can insert a QR code image that guests can scan on their phone to complete payment. And finally, the email type. And we're going to start with this one. So for this, we're going to show that the guest has to enter an email address to continue taking photos or videos. Okay, so here that we will have had some default text, and we've removed that, and I've entered some of my own text here to show that you can customize it any way you want. Let's go ahead and make that even bigger. Okay, great. You can insert pictures and whatever you like in here. We don't recommend using any kind of links or anything like that. If you need to go through a Webflow process, again, we recommend having a QR code image that guests can scan to complete that on their own mobile device. Okay, so I've changed the text here to show that in our case, in North America, we're just using this to get consent for the right to post on social media platforms. In Europe, for example, you might have more strict GDPR requirements that you would need to copy and paste in here. And finally, I've customized the text that's going to be shown at the bottom next to the continue button, next to the checkbox. So let's go ahead and save that change. And one of the great things about this app is on the iPad that data is automatically synced. As long as that iPad has data access, there's nothing I need to do. That change is now live on the iPad. So let's go ahead and launch that event. And now when I hit photo, you're going to see, okay, great. There's that text that I've just changed. And you can see my custom consent or my custom text on the checkbox below. So I'm going to hit that and hit continue. And now it's saying, okay, well, what's your email address? Okay, so let's put my email address in. It's checking, and notice how it's telling me, hey, look, your photos and videos are going to be sent here. So one of the things we're going to do when you use this consent type is that we're going to automatically send the photos and videos that are taken to that email address that the consent is given for. So it's not like the guest has to put that in twice. Okay, so if the guest is saying, yep, that's great, that's what I want, so then they get a chance to start. So let's go ahead and take some amazing photos of our ceiling. One finger, and wait for it, 2 fingers. Stick a sticker in there, perfect. Next. Okay, now you can see at the bottom of the iPad there, it says that the email is going to be sent to that same address that we already picked. And here on the website, you can see that the number of uploads has just gone from 0 to 1 because that's already now happened. Oh, and now all the way up to 4. So when you make those 4 photos, or those 3 photos, there's the collage, and then the original photos are made as well. Okay, great. So now let's have a look at what else we can do. Let's go ahead and change the consent type back in the event to password. So I've set a password of testing. I'll hit save changes. And now on the iPad, I'm going to hit photo again. And you can see now at the bottom, it's asking me instead now for a password. So I'll hit that button. If I put the wrong password in, it'll say, sorry, that's not the correct one. If I enter the correct password, then I can immediately start taking my photos. Great, so that's the password type. And finally, let's have a look at the optional checkbox. So I'm going to save changes on that. So on the iPad now you can see that even when the checkbox is not checked, because they have not consented, they can still continue. So if I go ahead and do that, take some more pictures of my amazing ceiling. If I go ahead and do that, then the guests are able to still enter their information how they want. They can enter their email address how they want, like this. But they have not consented because it was optional. Now, let's wait until those uploads come through. There we go, 8. That looks good to me. Now let's have a look and see what that looks like when I get my guest data. So over here on the web app, I'm going to click Export Guests CSV. So that's getting my guest data. Okay, and I'm going to open that. So I'm on a Mac. This is open to numbers, but this is a standard CSV that's going to open any way you like. So here you can see that the first time I did it, I consented by an email address. Then the second time I did it, there was no consent provided. So that allows you to filter down to just the email addresses or phone numbers that have given you consent. And that's very useful if you want to see which file names can you post on your social media and which are you not allowed to. And also there's the link there to go and get them right now in case you haven't downloaded them. All right, that's it for today. If you like this video or if you have requests for other videos, please let us know in the comments.